Live. Hi, and welcome to Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and today I am here with go-go dancer and video creator Silver, who can be seen performing at Bar Lubitsch tonight in Twin Flings, and can be seen tomorrow night performing at Epic Lounge. Yep. Oh no, not tomorrow night. Sorry,
Oh,
Wednesday night.
Wednesday.
Yep. So, how are you today, sexy?
I am doing great. I am not hungover and full of energy.
I'm trying to think. Has any? I don't think anybody's been energy. I love hungover. I don't think I've had a guest. Well, a guest hasn't told me if they're hungover. Like
They're like, I'm good.
work. So, where are you originally from?
I am from here in California. Um, just been living in LA my whole life. Moved like 10 times growing up. So I got to know the city and everywhere.
Work. So, what was it like for you growing up as a kid?
So I'm the youngest of four, and my siblings are
Wow.
10, 12, and 14 years older than I am. Um, I'm 25, I'm a quarter, just turned. And it was interesting because it was like I had like five parents, like my siblings and then my parents. So it was
Right.
always like, you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and you can't play video games and be a girl character. No, you need to
Yeah.
be all boyish. Very that.
So, as the youngest, did you get like a ton of attention?
I did. I got the good attention, but also, that always meant there was always an eye on me. So if I ever was like, got in a fight in school or, didn't do my homework, which was always, it was always noticed and looked at.
Right. I will say the weirdest thing, I have like a different outlook. So it's like yes, I'm the youngest. Like I have an older sister, but like I never felt more ignored. Like as I always say, me doing drag is just like a desperate attempt to try and get the attention I didn't get as a kid. But like, yeah. So, what was it like for you coming out?
So my coming out story is actually very interesting. um, I came out to a group of friends in middle school. We all went to the movie theater. We had this thing where we would always go see movies like once a week. Um, Go to our closest movie theater, and then one of the moments I was just like, you know what, I need to come out to them, and so I did, and they were like, bitch, we knew, like it was the greatest feeling, um, and it was very obvious. Like I would go to school. I went to public school, so we could just
Yeah.
wear whatever we wanted, and I would wear like a lot of pink or just very, I don't know. I would feminize my looks. What I would wear, even though it was
Yes.
just like jeans and a t-shirt, it was like I'm gonna roll this up a little bit, or I'm gonna fold my belt loop or something. Like accessories as well. Um, so that was the first time I came out, and then the second was to my family and everyone else, the whole world. I
Right.
was 18. Yeah, I was 18, dating one of my boyfriends who at the time I worked at Walmart, and he was my manager, and we just like hit it off real quick, started dating, and that meant he would like come over to my house a lot, and I was living with family at the time.
Right.
Um, and one day I came home from work. It was like 7 p.m. and my mom and dad were in the living room, and they were like, "Can you sit down real quick? We need to ask you a question." And I was like, "Okay, sure." My heart was just like pounding,
Right.
but I was just playing cool. So I sit down on the couch, and they're like, I have an uncle. He's also gay, and his name is
Yeah.
Hector. So they were like, is your friend that comes over, is he, like is he like Hector? And I was like, yeah, he is. And then right after that, they were like, are you? And for a moment, it just felt like time froze. Like it was like in I don't know, like a video game or a TV show, when a character is just like, and in that moment, I didn't know what to do. Like they just have like a
Right.
side camera. That's what it felt like. And quickly, I just responded, yes, I'm gay too. And my mom laughed and she was like, no, you're not. And my dad said, I knew it. Because when you were little, you would put socks in your chest and run around the house and put shirts on your head and act like it was long hair.
Right.
Yeah, but it was like
Well,
we laughed about it. It was good, a good coming
yeah.
out. And then I posted it on Facebook because that was the ish at the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I'm out and proud and a go-go dancer, and I do drag as well. And I just love queer community and queer art and queer culture.
Work. So, my coming out story, family was good. There is a bad twist to that. I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh,
Uh, so, I only had to come out to my dad and my sister because I came out 4 months after my mom died. So it was like, yeah, so it was easier only having to come out to one parent. As I said, give you all the credit having to come out to two. It was so much easier having to come out to one. So what I did do the weekend that I came out was I came out to a youth minister.
oh shit.
This is where it gets bad. Um, so I told him about this performance idea I had with like a knife and how I like practiced it, and then after I said that, he walked out of the room. He came back in about 10 minutes later. He said, "You have one of two options. Either you're coming with me or I'm calling the cops." So
What?
I didn't want the cops called. So I went with him to get a psych evaluation, which I passed. He made it seem like I was lying. So I ended up getting locked in a mental institution for 64 hours.
What?
Yeah,
That's insane.
definitely.
See, like that's just so unbelievable to me that that can happen. It just I don't understand why people just instantly go towards that negative and are like, gay is wrong, gay is a sickness, gay is like,
And my sisters fully thought it was because I was gay. Because it's like, let's get real. One of the questions that they asked me in the psych eval was, "Are you in drama? Like, are you
are
in
you
theater?"
serious?
Yeah, and I'm like, yes, because I was. Like, they're like, yeah, that's normal. Because again, creative people think of things that aren't always pleasant. And like, that's how I still am today. I say, like, I'm a singer songwriter. That's like what I do in drag. I'm like one of the only bitches who sings live every time I perform, which isn't often anymore. We'll get to that in a minute. But it's like I sing live. I perform. I'm creative. I'm a singer songwriter. I don't know how to write happy. So all of my songs are either like about revenge, about anger, about sadness, or about being a slut.
Or a mix of it all. It's like
I have not done that, but I will totally work into.
emotional
I would
mashup.
definitely. Right. Oh, I don't need to ask you that. So what was it like for you the first time you performed in West Hollywood?
um, it well, the first time I performed solo, because I was a backup dancer for one of my friends, and it was just incredible. It was so fun. Um, but I'll do like officially performing because
Yeah.
you know me. It was for a competition called Battle Babies, hosted by Tony Soto. Um, and it was in January of this year. I was like promoting about it. I made my own flyers because I like to do like Photoshop and stuff. So I like did all that, and I was so excited. And then the day comes, and I just like psyched myself out, self sabotaged, and I was super late. Like the show starts, the show starts at 10. Like it starts at 10, and they pushed it back to 10:30. I walked in at 10:36. I had no makeup on, no makeup whatsoever, because I forgot my makeup bag at home, and I went to go get ready at one of my friends' houses, and I knew what I wanted to wear. I knew what I wanted to look like. I knew my number.
Yeah.
And then literally like 3 days before, I just was like, no, I'm gonna change it. And I made a mix, and it was horrible. I didn't even know like all the words to it because I added like dialogues, and I was like, that was not cute. Um,
Right.
and then at my friend's house that I was getting ready to, I brought like 13 different outfits. Ended up wearing the one that I didn't want to wear. So yeah. Oh, and also I was supposed to perform first, which I still did. So I walked in, I put my stuff in the back. I was like, "Hey, Tony, I'm so sorry," and Maxwell, he's the producer of the show.
Right.
Um, and they were just like, "Girl,"
You showed up 36 minutes late and you were supposed to perform first.
and I still did. There, my favorite thing about Tony is super shady and is unapologetically Tony, which is great. So the first thing he says is, "All right, now we can get the show started because our first person who we've been stalling for is here. Welcome to the stage, the latest person, Silver." And then I go on stage and I perform, and it was weird because all that anxiety and all that stress, it just went away.
Of
Because my
course.
thing is like when the music starts, when I'm on stage and the lights hit, whether I'm a go-go, I'm in drag, it doesn't matter. I'm at a wedding, I don't care. Like if music is playing, that's it. And I just like got in the zone and did my spins and kicks and dips, everything. And it was incredible. I got like good feedback from the audience. I got great engagement. Um, I got eliminated right away because I had no makeup in this drag competition.
Right.
Um, and I was like, you know what? Valid point. Yes, I deserve to get eliminated. But it was just so validating for me because
Right.
after walking through the crowd, people were like, "I loved your mix," or "I loved your number. I loved when you did this. I liked when you did this. Oh, that's such a good outfit right there." That like it's those little comments that just like it gives me that reassurance, especially because I work in precinct in downtown LA, and that's like my home bar. That's my home right there. So going from that scene to WeHo was very different, and I didn't know what to like expect. And
Right.
and then now I'm just like I'm just gonna be me and not stress myself out.
See, I have one of those like very sort of different experiences because I actually started doing drag at like open mic nights in straight bars. So like
Oh shit!
I was, yeah. So I first started performing. So I live in Florida. I lived in Orlando for 4 years, and I went to this bar. I had performed there probably for like a month, 2 months out of drag, and then like finally one day I just decided like I'm gonna do it. Like now is the time. I had an idea of like what I wanted to wear. I went there and like granted, I had like a mixed reaction. I always did the whole time I was there because it's like everybody, especially like anyone who knows open mic nights, you have so many like acts who are just acoustic guitar, acoustic guitar. I went in there doing electronic music because
Oh.
that's what I write. So like I did, and like as I said, musicians liked me because I was different,
Mhm.
and like the crowd was mixed. Younger people got me. I feel like older people were kind of,
Mhm.
and that was also the same bar who like, or where like one night the week before I had screamed motherfucker in a microphone, and then I got told next week not to do that. And I'm like, of course it's not in my set this week. I did that last week. Like, I'm not.
You're like a repeat. What? No.
No, because that's always how I've been. Like, some people do the same sets over and over and over again. Like, they have one set and that's all they do. I'm very much the person who like rotates everything
Mhm.
because that's just how I am. And also, especially if you have people coming to see you every week,
It's nice to give.
it's yeah, something different. So, and this is before you told me that you did drag, so I'll just ask this question anyway. What
Yeah.
would you describe your performing style as?
Um, as a go-go, it's very um dorky, sexy, sexy dork. That's what I love to do as a go-go. But also, you can tell I know every single beat, rhythm, like word. But I love like making eye contact with someone in the crowd and just being like, oh, like for example, like you know the song "Girlfriend" by Avril Lavigne.
Yeah,
Yeah. So hey, hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend.
yeah.
I'll look at someone in the audience and be like just dun, 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 dancing, and then be like doing something really stupid. And I love crossing my eyes or just like doing weird movements, and then from going that just like being posed and poised and yeah, I'm a good time. That's what I'll say. I'm very entertaining to watch, and I love to
Yeah,
be a
I mean,
character.
I would say that, like, going back, like, obviously, I watched some of your stuff before I interviewed people because that's called doing research. But it's like,
Yeah.
but it's like, I kind of like that. I kind of like that you're like, there are some go-go dancers who are like so serious,
Yeah.
and like, it's kind of. I've never really seen like a go-go dancer in person be like a goofball, and I actually kind of like that.
I think it's fun. Like, especially my thing is, no matter what, I love to entertain myself.
Yeah,
Not everyone does the same thing or can give off the same energy, or everyone's different and everyone has what they can specialize, your strengths and weaknesses. And for me, it's just I'm a huge gamer. Like growing up, I played video games my whole life. I love fighting games. So when I go, sometimes I'll dress up as Katana from Mortal Kombat, but like go male version. Um,
yeah.
and the moment I pull out those fans and I clack them, people are living, especially straight girls. They just will be like, "Here's a 20, yes," and it's a good time.
Well, okay, to that, I mean, amazing. So, have you ever like gotten judged because you're not the like typical like stereotypical go-go who's like just very sort of like masculine and like
Um, no, well, not to my face. So I don't know if it has happened, but so far, no. I just get a lot of good feedback from people, like dancers who I'll meet for the first time ever and we'll dance on the same stage. They'll just be like, "I loved your energy. I danced harder because you were giving so much." and like I love to engage with not just like the audience but also the dancers. Um, yeah, I haven't gotten any negative feedback. Just all good. Like I love wearing my boots and people
Yeah.
live and yeah.
Just wait, bitch. This is gonna come. Like,
I'm sure it has already too. Like I'm sure people are like, oh, there's Silver. Oh, Silver's gonna do this. But if that does happen, I'm just my thing is I have a tattoo right here, and it's like a sun, um, and it like shades toward the center, and in the center it says happiness in Japanese kanji because I'm part Japanese. So that meaning is like the world is a dark and shady place, but no matter what, just shine your light and be positive. There's no time for negativity. Just
yeah.
be.
And eventually you'll become like stronger getting in the negativity. Like, it's like the first time you actually see it, it's gonna sting. But it's like
Yeah.
after the as I say, like the 501st time of seeing it, it's like, yeah, I get it. You're gonna judge me because you only like when people in bodysuits are like skinny as a twig, and I'm a big bitch. Fucking deal with it. You don't have to look at my page. Like,
Boom.
leave me alone. Like, and then block
Exactly.
and delete. I am very much that person where it's like, you're gonna say something rude, well, I'm gonna block you so you can't say anything rude again. Like,
It's like they're taking the time out of their day. My thing, I'm like, thank you for the views. Oh, I appreciate it. Like that. It's like, yeah. I'm always make something into a joke. That's what I love to do.
right.
Laugh about it.
So, have you ever been inappropriately touched while go-go dancing?
Always. um, now, the extent of it. My thing is, I'm a very chill person. I'm very go with the flow. I feel as a go-go, my job is to make sure that you, as a person in the club, wants to have fun. You want to dance, and you want to not feel threatened by a go-go, but be like inspired to dance more or drink more.
Right.
Like I see a lot of people sometimes just standing there, like with their drink, serious, and I'll look at them, and I will literally stop dancing, and just look at them and go, and like do something really stupid. But it's like I will copy the exact movement they're doing. They know I'm doing it, and I'm looking at them in their eyes. And because I have that dumb moment with them, they smile or they smirk, and then they'll do like a little dance or yeah. It's like those are the things.
But there's gotta be some. Well, I don't know. Maybe you are one of those go-go dancers who's like, touch me any way you want. But there's got to be some things where it's like,
One time, a
even you.
guy I was like he just kept pulling out dollar. I think he gave me like $30. He took me 30 times, but he just kept pulling out dollar after dollar after dollar. And it got to a point where I was just like, okay, like, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate it. But it was like, what else can I do? Um, but basically, on that last dollar, he was like, turn around. So I did because I was like, giving the front, side to side, or, the back. And so, like, I had like my ass in his face for shaking it.
Yeah.
And then he like tipped the dollar, put it in like my thong strap.
Right.
And then with his thumb, he like went on like my hole and tried to finger me while I was go-go dancing. And so I quickly just like grabbed his hand and was like, no. Like
I've
that that's
literally,
that's
I've
inappropriate
literally like
touching. Yeah.
talked about this. Like, my last interview I did with Phoenix, I literally like started it by saying like, what I don't get why the fuck people think that they can touch go-go dancers' assholes. Like, I do not know. Like, it's like, where the fuck were you raised? Like, I would never, even if I knew the person, still, I would never do that. Like,
I'm like, I'm on stage right now. This is not the time.
No, I also have a very much a rule of if you want to hook up with me after the gig, that's fine. You wanting to hook up with me before I perform, that's not happening.
Mhm.
Because I did actually, like, speaking of when I lived in Orlando, this was actually at a point when I started performing at gay clubs. I had a guy, like, on a bicycle, literally, like, just whip out his dick in front of my car. I literally said, go away. Like, I'm like, no, this is not happening. Like,
Not today.
not today. Like, as I said, I was very much about, like, the place I used to perform. I'm so sad that it closed in Orlando, but it's like, they had, like, a beach out back where, like, I
Oh
did
shit.
go. Yeah, I did go with a guy who, like, a few times, like, wanted to suck me off after I was done performing, so I let him do it. And, like, because again, as I said, I'm down for anything. Like, I got fucked in the parking lot one time after I performed. It's like, after I perform, I don't care.
Yeah. But you're like, before, this is not part of the process of preparation. You're like,
No, because, well, I don't know. Well, maybe not when you're go-go dancing, but, like, when you're in drag, can you imagine if, like, somebody wanted to hook up with you before you went to
oh
perform?
God, no.
Exactly. Like,
I'm like having to like un undo all those tights and then take off the outfit,
yeah, it's not
putting on
happening.
a wig, and then having it. Ugh, no. I'm like,
And it's
no.
like, if
Actually,
they.
I think. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was like,
No, no,
actually,
no,
the
no.
biggest. I was like, the biggest stress would probably be the makeup. I just be like, don't touch my face. That'd be
Yeah,
the thing.
exactly. Like, do it, like, after I performed, after I've taken my pictures, like,
Yeah.
because I want people to believe that I looked good throughout the night. That's why That's why I'm always the person, like, when I post photos, I do them before I do the interviews. So it's like that's when my face looks great. When it looks just done, I sit there like in the heels. But it's like after the interview, I like, especially with the guest, you'll see how like I literally like after I'm done hitting live, I literally like de-drag in front of like the guests and like talk for a little bit. That's just how I am. Pull off my wig, like
That's such a like good. It's like you can breathe.
yeah.
I love that moment. Taking off the wig. It's like,
Especially as I always say, like when people talk about like wanting to live in warmer climates, it's like think about it doing drag. Like as someone who's lived in Florida my whole life, I can't wait to leave Florida. Like, and as I said, LA is always like an option of I'll move there at some point, but I want to move somewhere that like has a different climate first. So
hmm.
my plan is to like move to Atlanta.
Oh, I know a couple people thinking about moving there actually,
Yeah,
and
it's
for that reason, they're like, it's getting too hot in California. It's getting too wishy washy with the weather here.
yeah, and Atlanta has seasons. Like
Actual
in
seasons.
yeah, in Florida there's just like maybe if you're lucky 2 weeks of winter and then the rest of the year is just like hot. Like
You're like,
uh,
that was a nice 72 degrees. Back to 95.
even no, like I'm someone who like let it get to 40. Like I love when it's 40. I get to put on like a sweatshirt and like
I'm like, what about Seattle? Isn't it cold there all the time?
see. I want to try. Yeah, it is always cold in Seattle. I want to try somewhere. I think it's gonna be like my thing is like I want to go somewhere like before I have to do like a time adjustment change because like
Mm,
I know that's gonna like throw me off if when I
yeah,
move out to the West Coast like because I've lived on the East Coast my whole life like
it's a big difference. The sleep
but
schedule,
yeah.
job.
But as I said, I always tell people it's like for this, being in LA is better because literally one of the reasons like half of my guests are from LA is because yes, it's harder to get y'all, but once I actually get you and like book you, you actually show up.
Yes.
Because anytime Detroit, Miami, it's like I try and book people, they fucking flake every time.
Every time. Come on, LA.
Yeah. So, oh, you haven't been doing it that long, so I don't know if this has happened to you yet. Has anyone ever stolen a tip off of your body?
As a go-go, yes.
Yes.
Um, drag, no. I'll stuff them in like my boobs. No
Right.
one's done that yet. But as a go-go, yeah, I like whenever I have like the strap on my thigh or like on my like a wrist strap or something.
Right.
I've had people like if it's on like the backside or facing the back of me where I can't really see. As they're like touching me, they'll like take the same dollar and try to tip me with it, or I drop money and they're like try to be slick and like take it. But I'm like an eagle, and I'm just like very vigilant, or like an owl at night. Money is my
Right.
prey, and I can just always see it. So I'm like, don't touch my coin, girl. I'm in this thong for a reason.
I don't get why people think that they can steal tips.
I I don't get it. I'm like, why? I've seen people get tipped with fake money as well.
What?
Yeah, I saw someone, Apple a Day, if that's her name. Um, she did a competition that we have at precinct called the Henny Games, run hosted by my good friend, amazing Eastore Spreads. But she Apple was lip syncing, and someone tipped her $100 bill, and it was a fake bill.
See, that's like if somebody's like getting tips, like tip people real money. Like
Mm-hmm.
I very much do it. When I used to like work in Orlando, I wasn't as much as like a bodysuit queen as I am now, so I like used to wear pants. So literally when people used to like give me a tip, I used to be able to just like shove it in my pocket. Now it's like I have nowhere to put tips, so I just have to let them like fall on the ground and have people like
Yeah,
bring me back tips. Like
you're just
and
like
hope that
trust the process.
yeah, I hope they don't steal my money. But
But yeah, I don't get
but
that. I'm like, why are you stealing the money, girl? Why? What was the reason? What was the reason?
the thing that you said where like they would take a dollar and try and tip you back with it, it's like that does nothing.
Literally, and it's like, my thing is, I can always feel when someone's gonna touch me. Um, something very funny about me is like I'm a go-go who wears the most clothes. I feel like yes, I'm wearing the bare minimum, but I like to have little accessories like gloves or um,
Yeah,
thigh-high socks or like just little things. So it's when someone touches me, I can like feel fabric, like the fabric move or something. So I'm
yeah,
like, I felt you pull that dollar that was attached to my skin. Like, don't try to steal my money and then tip me with it again. But if I
crazy.
do get any big bills, I like just throw it in my boot right away. I'm just like,
Right, because you know that's what they're gonna try and steal. It's like,
mm-hmm.
and the thing is, like, if somebody were to try and steal my tip, thing is, first of all, I don't think anyone would try with me because it's like, if I see you trying to steal a tip, I'm holding a microphone. So, like, I can call you out if I see you trying to steal my tip. Like, I'm literally holding a microphone. Like, don't be
the
that.
the embarrassment that they would feel,
Yeah.
like the public humility.
In terms of, like, I would say in terms of drag, in terms of, like, people touching me inappropriately, never. Well, I would say this isn't even touching inappropriate, but this is like never anyone that I didn't want to. Meaning like
Yeah, I get that.
meaning meaning like my friends with benefits, like when he saw me perform one time, he grabs my ass. He fucks me. He can grab my ass all he wants. Like he does it in person. I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
but if someone just was just like,
Stranger
just
who doesn't.
yeah, because this is the thing. As a drag queen, I don't pad. So like, if you're grabbing my ass, you're actually grabbing my ass. Like,
You're like, there's no padding here.
there's not. It's like you can obviously tell. It's like, yes, that's actual skin underneath those fishnets. Like, that is not a hip pad. Like, that is not like, because someone actually told me to pad one time, and I'm like, so you want me to pad my already large ass to make it larger? Where's the logic in this? Like,
the boom. My thing is, now that I just started padding actually,
yeah,
because I finally found pads, so I'm like, yes. But the issue I'm having is ripping my tights.
exactly. Because your tights are probably like fitting your old like
Yeah, like they fit like the
body.
shape I had, and
Yeah, that's
now
the
they're like,
thing.
gotta go shopping.
That's why. Yeah, that's why you need to buy new clothes. Well, or I'd just say not use pads. Like,
Yeah.
I am. Well, I'm very much the anti of like what most drag queens are. It's like I don't wear pads. I don't do eyes. That's why I have sunglasses. Like, I literally don't know how to do them. Like, I never learned how to do them, and like I felt like as a live singer, I got away with like
The J Lo
not.
glasses moment.
Yeah, because I don't have to. Because it's always like, and for me, especially singing live, it's like, well, as you know, as a performer, eyes like tell the most, like the emotion of whatever you're trying to do. So
Yeah.
it's like it forces you to not pay attention to my eyes, and it forces you when I'm performing something emotional, listen to what I'm saying.
And they don't know where you're looking either.
That's another reason, because there are times, especially in those open mic days, whenever somebody would like quote unquote try and hit a note and they didn't necessarily do it, I would roll my eyes. So it's like, now that you can't see it, you can't tell how fucking shady I'm being.
You're like, there's a reason I wear glasses. Shade.
Yeah. Because there's some people, I'd love to say, everyone get your life if you love being a performer, but just know that if you suck, somebody's going to judge you.
Or if you do something that's not in their style, anything, like, you will always get judged. But just move on.
But in terms of, yeah, it's also just understand that you're having a tiny spotlight on you. I'm in drag, everyone's paying attention to me. And that's kind of why we do it, as I
And they
always
give you
say, like,
money. And they
yeah,
give you money.
yeah. As I always say, like, some people are just so everybody wants to get attention as a performer. Some of us are just better at it. Like,
Mariah Paris Balenciaga said it correctly. Anyone can be a drag queen, but not everyone should be.
that is so true.
The shade of it all.
It's also some people. It's like if you're gonna lip sync well, or maybe just be a dancer. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. Some people can't dance.
I think it's just people just need to learn to pace themselves. Like everyone wants to. This is just my opinion, but I feel like everyone has this mentality of like, oh, I've seen this person do this, so I'm gonna be that too. Like, no, learn who you are. It's just like drag is always gonna. It's an art form, so it's expression. And some people like to just do a copy and paste, which is fine because that's their art. But you know, learn to make it your own. Like for example, like me, I'm learning how to do my. I want to have a staple face. So when people see my face, they're like, "Oh, that's a silver face."
Right.
Like, yeah. Sorry, I go on tangents all the time.
Well, this is the thing, girl. I sent you my interview with Phoenix. You saw how that bitch. That's why Phoenix literally has two of my longest interviews. The the only one that he got the only one that he got beat by was another Pisces who went 3 minutes longer than he did. And I'm
Oh my
like,
god. Yeah, I'm a Taurus.
yeah. And it's like it's the water signs. I'm a Cancer, so it's like, yeah, we all like to talk. Like
Yes.
that's why also I'm like the after the first time, the second time I'm like, here's your 2 hour slot, Phoenix. What day do you want to do this? Cause I knew the bitch wasn't gonna be able to do it in an hour. I literally knew.
You were like, I gotta make the time today.
That's why I'm thinking about. I haven't got him to agree to it again, but I'm thinking about having him and Prince Joshua on an interview together. I'm like, this is gonna be a 5 hour interview. Like,
Oh my god.
like you're gonna take me, you're gonna take Prince Joshua, who also did a 2.5 hour interview when I interviewed him, and you're gonna take Phoenix. Put all of us together. Yeah.
I might.
Somebody said, I think like Pretty Boy Rock said when I interviewed, he's like, have a moderator. I'm like, why would I want that? Have a moderator to tell me to change subjects? No, thank you.
Just have someone there going in the background. They make no noise at all. That'll be me. I'll just be there, like you'll have like the screen, so it'll be like all four of us, and I'm just
Yeah.
there with a drink, just going.
Work.
That's all I'll do. Yeah, reacting.
Oh, okay. So, next question. Why did you decide to call yourself Silver?
So fun story. I love telling it. As I said earlier, I love video games. I'm a huge nerd. Like I'm a giant nerd. I love comic books and cartoons and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I'm a giant nerd. So anyways, have I don't know if you've ever played Pokemon. Have you?
Uh, no, I'm a little bit familiar with Pokemon.
All
A little bit.
good. Well, in the Pokemon games, when you play, um, when the game starts, they'll ask you like, "What's your name?" And in the original ones, like the Game Boy Advance ones, it would ask you, it would say like, type your own or have some pre-filled ones, and they'd
Right.
usually just be colors. So it'd be like, your name is red or green or silver.
Yeah.
So the first time I played a game, one of the options was silver, and for some reason, like my button just didn't work, and I couldn't choose anything else. So I just went with it. And ever since then, every single Pokemon game I've ever played, my character's name is always Silver. And so I did a go-go competition last year. Yes, last year. I did it last year at Precinct in downtown LA. It's called Box Stars. They have a go-go competition every like 3 months ish. Um, and on that list, it said, "What's your stage name?" And my government name is like, no one has it. There's like, I don't know, point zero something in the world of people who have my name.
Yeah.
And my whole life, people have always said my name wrong. Like always. I've only had four people say it right on the first try, and I remember each one of them. Two substitute teachers, my English sophomore teacher, and then this random drunk girl. Four people. Yeah, the last one
Yeah.
too. She was like, she read it and she was like, and I was just so shook. I was shook. But anyways, so I didn't want to do that go-go competition and have them call my name and then them say it wrong, because then I would have just been like an eye roll and annoyed.
Right.
So I went by Silver, and ever since then, that's been me.
See, Silver has a very short name. I say I have the longest stage name ever.
Yes,
and
I am one word, one color, Silver, two syllables.
and well, the thing is, when I tell people, it's like it literally the name just came to me one day, and it's like I have to tell people how to spell it because like my name is Prince, and then it's like Electro Diamond, which is all one word,
One word.
and like and a lot of people like try and put it as two words. I'm like, no, no, it's
One
like that is
word.
my last name.
Electro Diamond.
Yeah. I actually like I will say crazily enough, I am one of the people who has thought about like making their stage name their legal name.
That's what I
I
want to do.
I thought about it, but here's the thing that stops me. It's like once you do that, you have to get a new social security number, and that's like what has stopped me from doing it. It's like that seems like too much work.
For me, I'm like, I want to do it
Yeah,
because it's like, and it's funny. I just look at life like a video game. Life is a game, and you just gotta know how to play it
right,
sometimes. So for me, I'm like, you know what? I think I just want to hit restart and play the game again.
right.
But this time, I'm gonna be Silver full time. Like, I
That's
love it.
that's amazing. The two times I thought about doing it was actually two times I thought about like running for Congress.
Oh shit!
I was
You're like,
thinking,
fresh start.
I'm like, that'd be great. I'd be the first like drag queen Congress person. So it's like,
After George
but
Santos. I'm just kidding.
girl, him, like, or her,
Wait,
that
wait. Let me do my.
George Santos. When they announced that girl got arrested, I'm like, how you been able to like cause this much attention to yourself, and you've been in Congress like 4 or 5 months, like.
Like, ain't no one like the stunts being pulled, the stunts like
And it's like his whole campaign was like stunts. I was Jewish. I was I was gay even though I was married to a woman. It's like I've been out for 10 years. It's like
it's like goddamn. He's got the whole Harry Potter book, but like George Potter is his
yeah,
name.
it's
Got a whole series.
okay. I'm trying to read.
Oh, you're good. Sorry, freeze
so
frame.
so what kind of you call yourself a video creator? What kind of videos do you create?
Um, I just try to do something that's entertaining. I want someone to feel nostalgia when they see something, or just be like, "Yes, bitch, work," or both. Like my favorite thing and favorite era was when the Vine app was a thing. 6-second
Right.
videos, quick and easy, entertaining. Like that was my era. Like I love that moment so much. I'm frozen in that time still, in my mind, and yeah. So it'll be videos like that. I'm go dancing and
Yeah.
just hitting every beat, rhythm, like, or I'm doing something really stupid, or I'm looking at my dog and judging her, or she's doing the same thing to me. Like, and I have so many videos that I've made, but I haven't posted any of them because I'm just like, I need to wait for the right time. But currently, I'm in this mental state where I'm like, you know what? Fuck the right time. Anytime's the right time. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
post them all.
there is no such thing. The only things that I've ever like regretted or not regretted. The only things that I haven't done is like you talk about the right time. My thing is like, it's not that there's the right time, wrong time. It's like, do I have the time to put the effort into this that I know that it's going to take?
Yes, that I
And the
think that's what it is.
yeah, and the answer is usually no. Well, this is my thing
Or
is when
energy, the energy too.
yeah, my thing is it's especially for me. It's like with music and like original music. It's like I'd love to put it out. I have like my thing is like I'm trying so hard to like get known for this that I just don't have time. Like
It's a lot, like self-promoting. You also have to do a lot of editing. It's like reaching out. There's a lot of
yeah,
little steps to things. I'm like, not to sidetrack, but to
yeah,
stay on topic, but sidetrack. A lot of people
yeah.
ask me why I don't have an OnlyFans, and I'm like, cause bitch, I'm lazy. Like I'm a lazy bitch, but I'm also like the most hardworking person ever, which doesn't make sense, but it also does. Like
We'll see.
I will always give at least 150% into something, and if I'm giving 100, I'm like tired, but nothing ever less than 100.
Right.
Like that's very what I do.
See, when
But
you
I'd
said
rather sleep in bed all day and just do nothing.
work, um, when you originally said video creator, I'm thinking I'm like, is this just a way of like saying that you do amateur porn and like I'm not saying OnlyFans. I'm talking about like the step before OnlyFans.
Come on, Pornhub. Silver up Pornhub.
But again,
No,
don't judge because like
no,
I
no
love when people
judgment. All jokes in love.
yeah, I love when people like judge sex workers. It's like, are you fucking serious? Like in the year 2023, you're gonna come and judge sex workers for doing a job that's literally as old as the fucking country. Like,
Like very yes.
and it's like, and the people who judge, it's like, let them get their lives. Just because you can't get none doesn't mean that like the rest of us can't.
I think it's just jealousy and insecurities.
Yeah. Well, I should say that. Let's be clear. I haven't. I will say I haven't done sex work yet. Am I? I say
But
yet
you
because I
work
feel like
when you have sex.
exactly, and I also feel like at some point I'm gonna if this doesn't take off, which is my goal. So every guest I reach out to, just say yes to me, like because I am that like persistent. As I say, I'm a persistent bitch. Where it's like
Yes.
until you tell me no, I'm going to keep bugging you.
I appreciate you as well. Like
Yeah.
my schedule and what happened. Yeah. I
No.
appreciate you being patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And girl, it's like when you like hit me up, as I always say, like I am down. Like so, I had to reschedule Silver, but it's like as long as you communicate with me, I'll reschedule you. If you ghost me, I'm canceling you, and you're not getting an invitation. Like
Yeah.
again, because unless you're super famous, there is one person. Actually, the only person in LA who ever ghosted me, thinking about giving her, I'm not gonna say who it is, another shot.
A secret.
But it's like that one person, but other than that, because my thing is also this is promotion. Like
Mhm.
you'll get you're here, like I'll post this video to YouTube when we're done, like whenever either today or tomorrow. And it's like this is promotion for you.
It's all
You,
it's all
you
at the end of the day like a form of self promotion.
yeah.
And it
And
all just like represents you, it represents me, it represents
yeah,
everything. If I was wearing a shirt that said like precinct or, Nike, like it's even
yeah,
like representing that.
yeah. And also if you're in the entertainment field in anything, you should want to promote
Everything.
and everything.
Everything.
And also, especially if you're a smaller creator, not many people are reaching out to you. Like I don't know much about it, but it's like I can guarantee you that not that many people reach out to smaller creators
Mhm.
because they think, oh, they have no fans, and it's like,
It's like everyone needs to start at some point.
yeah. And also, like speaking of Phoenix, so there's this guy that I interviewed in England who's like who lives in Manchester, and he's like, why would you want to interview me when you're interviewing Phoenix and Prince Joshua? It's like, because I like you. That's
Yeah.
why I don't care that you have like a smaller following. I like you. That's why you're here.
And I appreciate you as well, like reaching out to
Yeah.
me. Like I was like, oh, me? I was like, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I always try and like find, especially with smaller creators, it's easier to get them to say yes. So it's
Yeah.
like, but
Facts are
it's like,
facts.
yeah, I shoot my shot. Like, I don't care if it says you got like 2 million followers. I'm going to be like, let me just put that out there. There's like a 1% chance that you're going to actually answer me, but it's worth it.
And it happened.
So, yeah. Well, this question sucks, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
I'm an open book. I'm an open book.
I'm so judgmental of myself. So, what's one aspiration you have in life?
To not be late to anything ever again. Like all jokes aside, I've been good on it for the past like 3 weeks, but I'm late to everything. Everything. Like my whole life, growing up, we like my mom would always be late to everything. Like I would always be late to school. I would always have detention because I was late. Like I was late to literally everything, even being born. Shoot, I was like I was 2 days late. I was supposed to be born on April 23rd, and I was born on April 25th. Like I have always been late to everything, and it's not that I'm a careless person or I'm unprepared, because I'm a overly prepared person actually. But it's just that there's just so many things happening that I'll be like, okay, oh, I work at 4 o'clock
Yeah.
and it's a 22-minute drive. So that means at 4:30 I'm good. And then
What?
it's like 4:27 and I'm not even ready. Like I haven't gotten ready for work or anything. I just woke up from a nap. Or, I was, sewing an outfit and I'm like, just 10 more minutes, like, and then I'll be late because, I get to the area on
Right.
time, but then I have
Right.
to park my car. I have to pay for parking and stop. I have to walk to my destination. And then I clock in at 4:15 instead of 4 o'clock. Like yeah, I'm
Ladies and
late.
ladies and gentlemen, the Alyssa Edwards of go-go dancing.
I was a lovely fifth alternate.
See, my thing is with that, I get it if you're you. My thing is being a live performer, if it's like my show, I need to do sound check because
Mhm.
I don't trust any of y'all motherfuckers to like have my sound right and like sit there. Because this is from doing open mic nights. It's literally like they have to check the volumes. They have
Yeah.
to make sure I'm not too loud. Like blaring the music. That's just something I learned how to do. In terms of competing in competitions, this is the one thing that like pisses me off, and I don't get why. When the judge knows me and I'm getting ready to perform and you're not handing me a microphone. It's like, I'm singing live. Like, why do I have to tell you I need a microphone? Hand me a microphone, let me sing.
It's like it's not that hard. Boom, boom.
No, that happens. That actually happened the last time I performed.
Oh,
It's like I was sitting there, like my track had already started playing. The DJ had already started playing my track, and it's like, and I'm like, I need a microphone, and then I had to hit the beat exactly where it went in. Like I had like an intro to the song, and like I got handed a microphone, and I just hit the first word immediately, and it's like,
dang.
yeah,
That's stressful.
yes, and then the whole time, like that kind of thing takes you out of the moment, and like
Because then
you're
it
all,
it messes you all up. You're like, I had an
yeah,
outline, and now it's just.
and you already do that enough as a performer. Like
Mhm.
it's already, especially I interviewed somebody who like is like a burlesque dancer who does like fire stunts
Oh
who
shit!
literally he told me, he's like, yeah, it's like you have to think like how to land this perfectly and not like catch a place on fire, like. And I'm like, I am someone who's like, I love the idea of fire, like, and performing with fire. I'd love for like pyrotechnics because I don't want to control the fire. I want it to be like
Yeah.
in a controlled situation, like,
You're like,
and
and if something goes
somebody
wrong, it's not your fault.
exactly.
You're like, it was her. It was that old man standing over there. Like, you see that cat, that alley cat over there? That's who did it. Like, blame anyone else because it's not your fault.
Yeah, I always do that. Like as you say, like you got eliminated first. I am the person who like I hate competing because I've never won. Like,
You know what's funny is I've never won anything actually. There, I always the closest I've come to something was coming in second place, and I was like, hey, it's fitting.
see, that's why. Like speaking of that competition I did, they said I lost by 2 points. I was listening to the person who was competing against me. They should have lost by 4. Like, I, I'm not saying this to be like a shady bitch. I'm saying it because I honestly feel that way. Like, it's like I got ears. Like,
Yes.
it's like I know I may not be the best singer in the world, but I know I was better than her. Like,
Yes.
so, okay. So I'll ask these first. So, which one? Oh, okay. I'll ask this one first. Are you an extremely sexual person?
I was. I'm not anymore. I'd much rather eat a pizza and fall asleep than have sex with someone. In all honesty, like 2 years ago, like, I went to Vegas one time just because I wanted to, and I went on a solo trip for 4 days, and I had sex with 16 people. Yeah,
Yeah.
I ate like nothing. I was just, I was like a super bottom at that time too. So I was just like a whole. I was a whole. I wasn't even a whore. I was just a whole. But yeah, but now I would much rather just eat a pizza, um, and like do Uber Eats too, so I could just stay home and be lazy. And right after I eat that pizza, maybe like order some McDonald's too, just because. The irony is
See,
too is like I'm a very thin person, but
yeah,
I eat a lot. But it's also because I just I dance a lot and I do a lot of things, and
right.
so it just yeah.
Well, this is also like this is Silver saying at 25 that his sex drive has gone down. I'm literally older than you, and my sex drive is like peak. Like
I think
forever.
what it is it's like I've been disappointed so many times. Like I've reached the levels of like, oh, no one can pass this. Oh, no one can beat that. Oh, no one can, or like someone has like hit the goals of like, oh, best kisser, best bottom, best top, best verse, best anything. Like if I was giving awards out, I was like, I already
Yeah,
gave all the Grammys away. I'm sorry, there's no
right.
one left. So now it's just like, here's a participation ribbon. Let's go. Like,
That's also why I always say, like, this is my thing. Like, I always say, get you a friends with benefits that knows how to work you.
mm-hmm.
Like, that is me. Like, I'm not very much doing the like random guys anymore. I don't love it as someone who is a bottom who is tight. I don't love it. I love a guy who knows how to like work me, knows how to
It's
like
a respect to the body as well. Like,
yeah,
and
yeah, and not
even if
having
someone says yeah,
some like stupid guy who wants to get with me who thinks like he can just like stick it in. I love guys like that. It's like are you fucking stupid? Like
they're like, yes. Also, too, another thing, like on the same topic, is I've also come to know like what I like and what I don't like.
yeah,
Um, and like I'm a super vanilla person, and I say that in the sense of like I can be like a dirty slut. Yeah, yes,
yeah,
we all can, and I can channel that very well, especially on stage. I do that very well. But um, I like to be vanilla in the sense of like I like to cuddle and kiss. Like those are like just my two things, which I've come to be at most comfort with. Like I love kissing the most, and I think my sex drive is gone because so many people are in this thing of I don't like to kiss, or if they do like to kiss, they're horrible kissers, and I do not hold back, and I will be like, "You're bad," and I'll be like, "Let me teach you real quick. Let's have a kissing lesson." And yeah, I've
right.
had people get offended, and then I've had others be like, "Thank you," and I'm like, "You're welcome."
In terms of kissing, my thing is like I will only kiss guys that like I am like really into. Like
Mm-hmm.
cuz my feeling is once you start kissing somebody, that's when emotions start happening.
Mm. And I see that perspective as well.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just a very emotional person. Like even when I
Yeah.
have sex, and it's like when I say like I'm vanilla because when I have sex with someone, it's not just like a like I'm not like yes that happens at some points, but when it starts,
No.
it's like the touching, the caressing, like some foreplay. It's like you're making love with someone. Like when I think
Right.
about it, like
Right.
but it also in my mind, it's like we're both actors and this is our sex scene right now.
Yeah. Believe me, I'm the person who now I was not like this when I started out, but I am now the person who's like talking about the foreplay. It's like if you're not eating my ass before you're fucking me, you're not fucking me. Like it's not happening. I had a guy say that he's like I don't do it, but I want to get with you. I'm like, well then get you a friend who can do it for you, and then you can get in.
uh, these are the requirements.
Yeah,
No excuses.
it's like especially well, I will say this where I started like I'm into as I always say I'm into black guys literally because like when I started having sex I was living in the hood and white guys were scared to come to my apartment. So like all of a sudden I'm surrounded by black guys, so all of a sudden again fat ass. So they want to like get in and like that's why I like black and Latino guys and it's like I'm the person who like when people say, "Oh, you'll never be with white people," it's like that's not true. I have sex with white guys once, twice a year. I call it community service. Um,
Damn. This charity work right here. But look,
Yeah. So okay. So oh, okay. Here's my next question. So, do people assume you're extremely slutty because you're a go-go dancer?
yes, and I have no like I take no offense to it at all because my thing is that's what I want to embody as well. Because I do. Like when I'm on stage,
Yeah.
I am a whore. Like I am a slut, but also I'm stupid and I'm like
Right.
funny and I'm you know when you watch a movie and there's like the main character, but then there's the main character's best friend who you're like, that's the character who I like. They're funny, but they're also
Right.
like the slutty bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Like I'm that person. I get the Emmy.
Right. And
um, so I love it when someone's like, "Oh, you're slutty," and also too because if there is someone I like and I'm like, "Hey, I want to make out with you,"
yeah.
like they always do the first move. I do not do the first move ever. I will walk up and just be like, "I'm naked, touch me," like. But it's for that person to be like, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah, that goes to the whole point of going back to like when you say like that's the kind of inappropriate touching you like because you're asking for it.
yes, it's welcomed.
Yeah.
It's like I'm asking you to do it.
Yeah, you just going up to Silver and grabbing his ass for no reason is not something that he wants. Like,
Actually, I do. I do
what?
enjoy it. My thing is, don't try to finger me. Like I love being touched. I do. I love people touching me. I will just be standing there on break, and people will just walk by and just like squeeze my ass or like jiggle it, and I'll just be like, yes, like because my thing is when I'm in go-go mode, it's not just any time. It's have fun and be entertaining.
Right.
But there is a limit. There's a boundary. My boundary is very small. Like that wall is like a fence, like a picket fence.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with the whole don't touch someone's hole. Like,
Yeah. It's like don't do that. Don't try to stick your finger in my mouth. Um,
ew.
don't don't tickle me. I do not like being tickled. I've punched someone before. It's just a natural reaction. My brother would always tickle me. Like he would like jab my sides, and it just like so if someone was like, "Hey," and I just
Yeah,
very
again, like tickling a go-go dancer. Why? But
what? What? Why?
like, like fingering a go-go dancer's hole.
If
It's
it's
like
not
okay,
welcomed, don't do it. Because I've seen
it's not.
people who do it, and I'm like, oh, they know them. Oh, they fuck, or you know.
Yeah, not
But
only
there,
this, we're in America. Like, it's not like you're in like Amsterdam where you can like fuck the go-go dancer on stage. Like, you're in America. That can't
there's a
happen
lot of
here.
rules here. There's a lot of rules here.
Although I actually did hear like one of my guests like talked about like getting fucked on stage, and like when I tried to ask more questions, they're like, "Next question." I'm like, then you should have brought it up. Of course, I'm going to ask you more questions. Like,
I've never done that. I've seen it. I'm a fan of it. I'm just like, yes, bitch, you better work. Take that dick. I'm like, don't come. Yes, keep going. I'm like, you better. If you're gonna do it, go all the way. You better not come quick.
right,
And that's the thing is, I live for it. I don't care what you're doing. I will live and support. But there's that boundary,
right.
and it's like
So,
enough is enough whenever that happens. Anyway, sorry.
totally, no. So, have you ever hooked up with someone who's tipped you?
Yeah, many. Actually, not. Yeah, I don't know, like 20.
I love how Silver's trying to act like I don't hook up with anybody. Then all of a sudden, I ask this question, and he's Motherfucker
I
said he's
mean,
hooked up with 20 people.
that's. I mean that that weekend in Vegas, those 4 days in Vegas, 16.
Oh, right.
So a year, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
No, I'm
yeah,
trying to think of. I'm trying to think if I have, and the answer is no. So maybe it's just guys who want to get with me. Give me money. Like,
thank you, thank you. Just taking the dollars, thank you.
like I love when people like I tell people who's like when people say like the question of have you ever had sex for money, and the answer is like yes. And they're like what? I'm like yeah. If somebody's gonna offer me money, of course I'm gonna take it. Like duh.
Yeah.
It's like you're an old. Well, this is the only time where I felt. Well, I didn't even really feel a sense of shame. It's just like I did it. It's like an older man just said he wanted to come to my house, suck my dick. I didn't have to come. He's gonna pay me $100. I'm like, go ahead, give me your money.
Hey, I've given someone a private dance before, and it escalated. They gave me 250. No shame.
Of course not, because
Uh-uh.
again, money is money.
Money is money, and if it is my thing, if it's in your terms,
Yeah,
and you are just unapologetic about anything, like if someone tries to judge you, go for it. That's just an opinion, and opinions don't really matter. But
yeah,
a fact is, someone was entertained,
right,
you got paid, and at the
exactly,
end of the day, the other person is bitter.
totally. So, so what is your relationship to drugs and alcohol?
um, Alcohol. This is in my car right now. It says Smirnoff. It's Smirnoff drink. I'm like, there's like two more in here as well. So
So,
I'm like, I hope that says. But also, I will always have like Gatorade bottles as well because I have to hydrate. I drink a
right.
lot. I was a bit of an alcoholic when I was like 22, 23. Um, but it was
Uh,
like I say it positively because I knew it was happening. Because I was like, I'm an alcoholic. I'm like, if I'm gonna go drinking, it is what it is. I would never have a hangover. I had my first hangover actually, just like recently. Um, but I didn't make any bad choices or regret anything. I always knew it happened, but I would know when I drank too much because the next morning I would have videos of myself talking to myself, being like, "You need to go easier. I can't handle this."
right. So,
um, so yeah, seeing those videos just like really changed my perspective,
yeah.
and I still drink a lot, but I drink less. Because also as a go-go dancer, my thing is I don't want to be dependent on alcohol. Yes, I do dance
Hmm.
better with alcohol. I could drop it to a split like that. Um, but it's, you know, I don't want to always have to rely on that. Or the sad part was at one point, my favorite drink is a Long Island. Like I drink those like a Capri Sun. Just um,
What?
yeah, I used to be able to drink 9 of them. That's the most I've ever had it. Like and still be conscious. But then 4 tequila shots later, and I was gone. Um,
So I'm gonna take back what Silver said. Silver still an alcoholic. If you could
that
drink like 9, I
yeah.
literally I've only had a Long Island once, and it wasn't. I didn't buy it for myself. Somebody bought it for me. Like
Oh,
that was the
yeah,
only reason. I'm like,
yeah. I
so,
was 21. And I was like, I went to a club and I was like, I've never ordered a drink before or drank until I turned 20. No, well, like ordered a drink at a bar until I turned
Right.
21. It was just like, at home, put in some vodka and apple juice. Like, so I just went up and it was super busy and they were like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "What's the strongest drink you have?" And they were like, "A Long Island." And I said, "That." So, and ever since that day, I've always drank Long Islands. Now I have moved to vodka Red Bulls. That is my go to now.
Right.
So, anyone listening, if you want to buy me a drink, it's a vodka Red Bull, preferably with a watermelon Red Bull, if they have it. If not, it's okay. Um, but yeah, I've calmed down with the alcohol. Although I did have a Long Island last night, but I'm good.
Right. As I'd say now, to me, alcohol, I've never been hungover, so like, that's an experience I never had. In terms of like drinking too much, I had one night where I almost got a DUI, and that like
Oh,
stopped me. That stopped me from like drinking when I performed. Don't do it anymore. So like, it's like, in terms of that, in terms of drugs, as I always say, the only thing that I ever abused going back to having the bone spurs was that which I told you about before. So it's like, before I had health insurance, like I used to abuse ibuprofen like crazy.
oh shit.
Like I would literally take 18 to 24 a day.
Dang.
Yeah.
Would they be like the Advil candy coated ones?
No, it's just regular
Oh,
straight
regular
ibuprofen.
ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Dang.
I would pop four at a time, and it's like, it didn't seem like a lot, and then all of a sudden you like step back for a moment, and it's like, and I'm like,
Like.
this is gonna be like problematic at some point.
You're like, the consequences of my actions are taking effect.
Was like, I'm surprised. Well, if I had gone longer than 4 months, I probably would have ended up in the hospital at some point. Like,
Yeah, I've had roommates who they were like they would one of my roommates was actually addicted to like saline solution and
wow.
would just like told me about it. That's what they would do. And then they
Yeah.
went to rehab and like got better. When it comes to drugs with myself, I don't do them. I've tried
Yeah.
drugs.
Yeah.
We've all just like or I've only done that once. It does nothing because I'm a super high energy person, or maybe it did and I just didn't feel it. Um,
Yeah.
but it just hurt my nose at the end of the day. And also, weed I cannot do because I don't like the taste, and then I start coughing like I'm someone who's about to die from the plague. It is awful. Yeah,
See,
but I
my
like
thing.
edibles. I like
Yeah.
edibles.
See, that's the thing. Like, if I were to like try weed at all, it'd be edibles. My thing is, again, being the singer, I don't want to inhale smoke
Hmm.
because inhaling
Your
smoke,
vocal cords very
yeah, it's not
inflamed.
good for your vocal cords. Yeah. And anyone who's like, that's not true, if you want proof of it, literally go look at Miley Cyrus when she used to do like, when she used to smoke weed all the time during the bangers era, and look at her now. Her voice sounds 1,000 times better now because she
Uh,
stopped.
it really does make a difference. That's why people always make the
Yeah.
joke of like, sounds like I smoke 30 packs a day
Yeah.
of cigarettes.
Yeah. Cigarettes was never like, I don't know. Maybe it's because like,
I just think about it whenever I've made out with someone who smokes cigarettes and I could taste them. I always think of this comment someone said where they were just like, it's like you're kissing an ashtray. No offense to anyone who smokes cigarettes, because I have made out with people who smoke cigarettes and their breath is fine. But I've also made out with others who that's all I taste. And I'm just like, no.
right. So, Okay, no. I'll ask this question first. Have you ever suffered from body insecurities?
Yes, body dysmorphia is real. I can
Hmm.
have a six pack or I could have a little gut going on. It does not matter. I would just. I grew up very, very, very chubby, like really chubby. Like I joke about it. But when I was in like seventh grade, like you could put a bra on me. I think I'd probably be like a B cup or C cup.
Wow.
And then that summer, from seventh to eighth grade, I just grew
Yeah.
like really tall, and I guess I stretched out, and my metabolism became a thing. I guess
Yeah.
she was clocked out, and then she finally clocked in. And
So, how
yeah,
tall are you?
I'm 5'11", and I
Yeah.
currently weigh 167 pounds.
See, that's realistic. Now, I'll tell you how to the body dysmorphia thing. I'll tell you my height. I'm 6'3". My vision of what I was supposed to weigh was 150, 160 pounds.
That's not realistic,
Of
though.
course, it's not realistic. That would mean I was anorexic. Like, literally, especially like being built like a football player, 150, 160 pounds. And then, like, one
And
day
that, yeah,
I looked at myself and I'm like, bitch, you've never weighed 150, 160 pounds in your life. What makes you think you can start now? Like,
and it's like everyone's body is made differently. We're shaped like I have very broad shoulders. I was a
yeah,
swimmer, um, and I just have like very long. Like my arms are long. I have long fingers, piano
yeah,
fingers.
yeah,
Um, but I've met people who are also 5'11", and they have like longer torsos than I do and shorter arms. It's like we're all different.
right.
Fuck the society norm.
That is exactly. And it's honestly, in truth, about moving to LA, that's like my one fear. It's like, will my body insecurities be even heightened moving out there?
Well, that anxiety, that self sabotage voice, just be like telling you all that.
Yeah,
I'm like when I first started go-go dancing, it did hit me because I did have like for me as someone who like let's say I would wear there was a period where I was always a size small underwear, and then I went to a size medium, and that I'm like this is so weird saying this out loud, but in my mind it was just also growing up I'm mixed, so I'm also Latino.
yeah,
Um, and something in like Latin cultures, families will always just be like, "You're so skinny, eat some more food." Or if
yeah,
you're a little heavier, they're like, "You need to stop eating." And like, there's no matter what you are, they're just gonna tell you you can't be that, and you need to be the opposite. So for me, it was like, okay, I know what I want to look like now because I was a go-go dancer, and
right,
seeing videos of myself, I was like, "Ooh, I don't like how that looks. Ooh, I don't like how that looks." No matter what people told me, I just heard the voices in my head
right.
or the voices of like my aunts or uncles telling me like, "You look like this or look like this." Da da da.
Yeah.
Body dysmorphia.
So, I mean, the thing with me is it's like what I know is like in terms of like taking photos, it's like I just edit them the way that I want to look. And I say that because it's like I don't do crazy editing. Like it's like I like will do like a body shaper app, but I'll move it like that much. So it's like I literally just bring in my waist a little bit. It's like I'm not like that much hating on myself. Although I look at when I like first started doing drag versus now, I actually weigh less now than when I started doing drag. So it's like I kind of look at that and I'm like, I look better now.
Yeah, like, and it's that thing of
Yeah.
you see the self evolution in yourself.
Yeah.
We're all Pokemon and we all evolve.
And also, to this point, if everyone looked the same,
Why you see people dating someone who looks just like them?
yeah, which is literally never me. Like, I'm usually
And I'm like,
the person.
I'm
Yeah.
the so opposite of that. I'm
It's
just
like,
like,
yeah. Yeah, date the opposite of you. This is my thing. As I have always said, I tell people, it's like, don't just date inside your race, especially white people. Don't just date inside your race. Interracial relationships are the way of the future.
yes,
Like,
cultural crossovers. It's like a
yeah,
Disney Channel episode. Like
yeah,
when they make those crossovers, that's what it is. Dating someone of different background, different race. Like you learn so much, and you mesh well together. Or
yeah,
sometimes you don't. It's just a good way to learn.
yeah, yeah. This, as I say, this Aryan Nation crap needs to end. Like,
The shit.
I am. That's why when everyone's like, they're like, I just can't see dating black guys. It's like, you're just scared of taking a big dick, bitch. That's exactly what it is. It's like trust me, you'll be able to walk comfortably for the most part. It depends on like what size you get to. Like,
I, it's not even that. It's just like it's your partner. My thing is, and when I say that term partner, I know like a lot of people when they hear that word, they like will instantly just be like partner, boyfriend, or significant other, etc.
yeah,
For me, partner just means someone who in that moment you're just trusting. You're just putting your trust in someone. You're like, that's my partner right now. That's my dance partner. That's my
oh,
uh, chemistry partner. That's my sex partner. Like
yeah,
whatever it is, like that's how I see it. So for me, like when I've gotten fucked by like an 11-inch dick, it just happened. I made
work.
sure I'm real with people. Like I'm like, you need to do this. You don't treat me like this. Da 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 da. I'm like, I want it this way. I'll let you know. If I don't like something, trust me, you will know. And it's like I'm giving a terms and conditions, and you're signing it. Very that.
Cause
Um,
that's how you have to be. Like,
yes, because at
as
the
I
end of the
say,
day, it's if something happens, like you know, the only person to blame is yourself
the
because you let this person do. Yeah.
work 11 inches I've never taken. I've taken 10 and a half before. I've never taken 11. It's like, and it's like that was the only time where like I could feel it after, but it's like everything else, it's like 8, 9, 8, 9, 9 and a half. It's like, come on, girl. Let's get
Damn.
to it.
He's a greedy bottom.
I'm not that well, maybe. Um,
Ariana Grande, greedy. Kidding.
I say that I'm making myself sound like such a slut. Oh,
And that's okay.
yeah, yes, it is okay. It's
It
like,
is okay to be a slut and a whore as long as you do it with pride
and
and people
honest,
are jealous.
and truth, and what drag queen really isn't. Like,
We all are at
on,
the end of the day.
yeah,
We call ourselves good Christian ladies, but we're not.
yeah,
And neither are they.
work. So, okay, I don't have this question written down. Almost done. So what has your dating history kind of been like?
I've been in 6 relationships. Um, I'm known as someone, like by my friends, someone who is not single for long, which is really funny to me because of how many people I've had sex with.
Yeah,
It's like, when I look back on it, I'm like, how did I do that? when I was dating this person for 2 years, how did I manage to, in that 2 month period, have sex with that many people? Um, yeah, like I'm very much, I'm a, I, I love to love. I love to make people feel loved. I love to just
Yeah.
make people happy and show someone like you can be the best version of yourself, whether that's sexual, emotional, but that's also like a double-edged sword because I want to give someone the world, but it doesn't mean they want to give me the world.
Right.
And so I've had very toxic relationships, emotionally abusive relationships, verbally abusive, never physically. I'm a really good fighter. So like no
Yeah.
one ever tried me. So one did actually, and I like had to be like stop and like put his arm behind his back. Um, because my thing is violence is never the answer unless it really is.
What? Well, I mean, I agreed with the first part, and then all of a sudden, when you said until it is, like,
Well, I mean, if you're just walking and someone steals your phone and then tries to fight you,
I mean,
violence is
okay,
needed.
fine. Fine, fair.
That's what I mean.
I mean,
Like I,
also, as I said, I'm 6'3", like, look at the size of me. Who the fuck's gonna try and do shit with me? Like,
yeah,
I'm very much like Gandhi peace, like, person, but, like, if I have to beat the shit out of you, I'll do it.
yeah.
There's only one time I've wanted to do it in drag, and it was one time where somebody snatched the wig off my head.
Oh,
And I held back because first of all, it's like I hated them because it's like now I have to sit like in a window, like fix my part in the exact right place, and
you
like,
gotta brush it out now and like fix
yeah,
it up. It's not just like taking off a wig and putting it back on. Like
no,
sometimes it's like
God,
and
I wish it were that easy.
and like me, like when I do drag, I like to do wig reveals.
Yeah,
So it's like flipping that one off and having one under, making sure that bitch stays on. Struggle.
right.
But yeah, relationships.
Yeah, as I say with me, I'll just say this: I've only dated like honestly two people. One was a black, well, I should say they are now they okay, I'll say this. They are now a black girl. That's actually one of the reasons why the relationship ended was
Oh.
because they were transitioning living in my apartment and lying to me about it.
Oh.
So I found out the truth one day when she left her key in the door, moved all her stuff out, and left me a note along with that key.
Oh, snap.
Yep. And it's not like I hadn't asked. Like I literally asked, like, "Are you transitioning? Do you feel like you need to transition?" Like,
Yeah. But like
although
the
I know that,
comfort level wasn't there.
yeah. Well, I knew why she wasn't telling me because I had said, and this is me being closed-minded at the time. I may be a little bit more open-minded now, but I'm like, if you're gonna transition, we're breaking up. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm like, that's not my thing.
Hmm.
Like if you're into trans girls, like great. Not my thing. I'm gay as fuck. Like,
Yeah. Everyone has their preference. Everyone
yeah,
has, and it's a respect value that comes with that too. It's and you we all know how it works. We all know how life is. We
yeah,
all know what our parts like and what they don't.
exactly. And it was just that was the time where like when she was going on hormones, that was the time where like more when we had sex, I had to become the top, which is something I don't love doing.
It's
But
like
it's
also
like,
putting you in an uncomfortable position.
yeah,
Yeah. Like in
yeah,
my relationships, I used to be a full-fledged bottom until one of my friends with benefits when I was like 20. he was like, I want to see you fuck this guy. So I did. And we had a three-way and it was great. I was like, oh my god, topping is fun. I like this.
Yeah, I don't. Like,
And then my so I've been like the top and bottom in my
yeah,
relationships. I'm verse.
yeah,
I say that in the sense of I, I'm a verse because wait, how do I say it? Like basically when I am with someone, I will only be one position with you. It's very
right.
rare. Like it's like a 5% chance if I do flip.
Yeah.
But because in my mind, it's I'm either gonna be a full fledged bottom for you, I will be the full fledged top. I'm not gonna go half fast on it.
Wow, that is
But
kind of like, uh, well, I would say that is kind of interesting, but it's like, I get it. It's like,
yeah, like it does suck though, because some people will be like I'll top them and then they'll be like, "Now I want you to bottom," and I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna bottom for you."
because, well, in your way of probably like thinking about it, it's like, then you change the expectation of what can happen. And it's like,
Yes.
when you're together and like the roles are very much chosen, it's like when stuff happens, you know what's
Yeah, and
you're
it's
in
the thing
for.
of like, let's say, I'm dating someone and then we're sitting on the couch, we start making out.
Yeah.
It confuses me because then I'm like, am I topping right now or am I gonna bottom?
And it's also like some people, not me, but so but some people like believe that they have to douche before they bottom. As I say, like I don't do it, but it's like when I in terms of like when I tell people that, it's like in general, I especially like now that I've gotten older, it's like I know my body. It's like I know like what the window is and like it's like we're gonna have sex now. Like it's like you have these like 3-4 hours. If you can't make it happen within this time, then we're not happening. Like
That I love the shower douche. When I discovered that, I was like, yeah, and pure for men, pure for men.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
That is well, that was like one of my biggest things like getting older. It's like I changed my diet and it's like now my diet is like more susceptible to me like having sex. Like
Hmm. It does. It has to be honestly. Like
yeah.
that's what I learned on that Vegas trip. I was like, oh, I can't eat that.
No, totally. So okay. So last two questions. So what are your thoughts on how the LGBT community is being treated today?
It's awful, horrendous, horrific. We're traveling back in time, and it's stupid, but also it's incredible and beautiful to see the support that we're getting. The people who are, I saw this post the other day, and it was a little girl, and it was like her and her sister, like the older sister, and the girl was recording her little sister, like, and she was like, "Hey, I need to tell you something," and it was a reaction video, and the little girl was like, "What?" And then the sister said, "I'm a lesbian," and she was like, "You're Lebanese?" And it was just like the pure innocence of, but, and then she like explains to her like, "No, I'm a lesbian. It means I like girls, and it's okay to do that. So if you ever feel this way later, it's okay." And the little girl just like hugged her, and she was like, "I love you no matter what."
Aw.
But then seeing her caption though was like, "Our parents are extremely homophobic and they're racist." And so she was like, "I just want to let my sister know that it's okay."
Yeah.
But seeing like the Nazis recently that went outside of was it Virginia West? I think it was her, Nina West's drag mother. She
Yeah.
was performing This Is Me, and a group of Nazis stood outside that drag brunch. Like, I can't believe that's happening, and no one's doing it. Like, I just want to put on some stilettos, give me some fighting gloves, and let me just go, like, be the Black Widow of drag.
See, I would say like I know that it's hitting hard. It's especially hitting hard like for people who are like in the South. It's like
Mm-hmm.
as it said,
Very.
it started in Tennessee. It's moved to Florida. That's why like I always tell people like I understand gays that live out in LA at some point think, "Oh, it's getting too expensive in LA. I should move to Florida." Fucking stay in LA.
Nope.
Like
Uh,
fucking stay in LA. Like
this is like the freedom state. Like, we are, well, SoCal, LA,
yeah,
and San
it,
Fran,
it's like I get it.
Bay Central.
You don't have lots of money. Save up what you can and stay. Like
Mm.
it's like I tell all people like this is why I should never be a part of the tourism board of Florida. Don't fucking move here. Like I would say like even moving to some people are like, well, Georgia is not much better. It's like yes, but Atlanta is like the mecca of like the melting pot of the South. So it's like the one place where like tolerance is.
Yes,
That's
facts.
the only reason I consider moving there. Like
And the
literally the
drag
only
support
reason.
there.
Exactly. Like that's like the I think it's like the I'm pretty sure it's the drag capital of the South.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I literally feel like right now this is an embodiment of X-Men. Like, our community, we're the mutants, and the rest of the world is like sending sentinels and FBI to come kill us.
Right.
Like, it's just choices, choices.
Definitely. It's something where I actually to that person that I was interviewing in Europe, he's like thinking about moving to America. I'm like, look, it's like I will tell you where to move. Like, don't move where I am.
LA.
I said LA or New York because this is
Yeah.
the thing. He has aspirations of being a go-go dancer. That's not a thing in England.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't have go-go dancers at all. When he told me that, I'm like, what?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's not a thing. And I'm like, because also the I get the reason why it's not because tipping is also not a thing in the UK.
Oh.
So like like drag queens don't work for tips, like waiters at all don't work for tips. It's like so as a go-go boy, I completely understand. It's like because I would say this, you probably like get a certain amount. Well, actually, I don't even know. Do you get like a certain amount of money to like just go somewhere and perform, and then like you make tips on top of it, or are you just working basically for tips?
Yeah. I'll get like a set pay, and then,
Yeah,
my tips.
yeah,
Um, but also, there's some nights or some events that I've done where it is a tip spot. Like,
yeah,
I've offered, I'm like, do you need a go-go dancer? And because I know places sometimes won't have a budget, or it's a new event or whatever,
yeah.
um, I'll be the go-go dancer, and I'll do it for tips because, hey, I just want to get money real quick and go buy some Jack in the Box at 3 in the morning after.
Work
Also, exposure. It's always good exposure.
exactly. That's why when some people are like when I would say like I very rarely have performed for tips. That's why I have like an actual job. So it's like I've never had to depend on drag for money. So it's like they're like, you perform for free? I'm like, yeah, because again, that's exposure. Like,
And you get to just share your talent. You get to just
yeah,
express yourself. I'm like I said in the beginning, when the lights hit and the music plays and I'm on that stage, that's it. Like
Exactly.
it's like, have you seen the movie Sucker Punch?
No.
Okay, basically it's about, I can't reminisce what it's about. I'm gonna go on a tangent. But anyways, there's a moment where the main character, they ask her to dance, and so she like closes her eyes, and when she opens them, she's in like an alternate reality,
Yeah.
and then when she opens her eyes again, she's like back in the real world, and everyone's just like, "Oh my god, that was incredible how you danced." Da da da, and that's how I feel when I dance. Like
Yeah.
I feel like a version of me clocks out and a new one clocks in.
It's also you have to have like some sense of delusion.
Yep.
Because like my thing is like I know this about myself. It's like my like two probably biggest vocal well actually I would say three biggest vocal inspirations are Lady Gaga, Christina Aguilera, and Anastasia. So it's like I try and emulate their sounds, like because you have to believe it. You have to believe like when I'm
Yeah.
singing Anastasia, I am Anastasia. But it's like I look back and it's like, bitch, you're not Anastasia. But it's like you have to believe in yourself, like that
You have
delusion.
tell yourself you're the best dancer, the best hair flipper, the
Yeah,
best like. Because if you don't tell yourself that, then you're not gonna believe it, and no one else will believe it.
yeah. So to the final question,
Dun dun dun.
what's yeah, what's the biggest misconception about you?
Um, the biggest misconception. Hmm.
Don't
Trying to
worry,
think.
this is always the question that throws everybody for a loop. Like,
I'm like, um, the biggest misconception is that I talk shit about people.
hmm,
They're like I'm a shit talker, because I'm not. I listen to their shade and talk to
that's
people and
yeah,
like tell someone something to their face. Like I'll give someone feedback, but I will say, "Do you want some honest feedback?"
right.
And people will think I'm talking just straight shit to them, but I'm like, I'm not. You said yes. Here's my answer.
See, actually, well, no. In truth, I would love to say that's mine. Mine is also that I'm also kind of shady, but it's like sometimes I hear things in my head, like I have thoughts, and they sound less shady in my head than when I actually say them.
No, I know I'm very blunt. I can be very blunt, so I'm just like, ooh. Also, another misconception is that now I'm late to everything. No more. I'm not late to things anymore. Not for 3 weeks. I've been on time to everything so far.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like you didn't. Well, in theory, you didn't show up that late today, like to
My
this
thing is,
interview.
I may be late, but I was worth the wait.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Because I always show out.
and
I
actually, you're not the longest that somebody that I've had to wait for somebody. The
ah,
longest I've had to wait was an hour,
oh,
and and it's like we had already discussed the time beforehand, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I won't be ready for another hour." Meanwhile, I'm sitting here in drag, and it's like I have to keep that fan blowing because, as Silver can tell you, being in drag is hot.
it is very hot. I love to carry a fan with me and just clack it and
Yeah. So if I'm not comfortable, I will say it's actually my shortest interview, and it's probably for that exact reason.
bam. That's funny.
It's like you made me wait an hour while your
You only get an
interviews.
hour time.
No, he didn't even get that.
Oh, oh.
His
Oh,
interview was like 36 minutes long.
oh,
And that was just me, like, I'm not even gonna try and ask more questions. I only have my questions written. I actually thought in my head, like, I went back and looked at that interview now. That interview was a lot worse in my head than what it actually was. I'm like, that wasn't that bad.
the self
It's
saboteur. The self saboteur.
it's just I believe maybe at some point that A, I wasn't as good at asking questions at that point, and B, they might have been a little bit nervous, and that's
Mhm.
fine. Like, I get it. Not everybody's gonna be like exactly like calm, cool, collected coming here, but
Yeah, they're like questions, video, anxiety.
and plus, I'm the one bitch who's like, let me get attractive, let me get hot guys and make them talk. So it's like,
You're like, how many sexual partners have you had in the past 13 hours?
well, of course, this is my thing. Like, I
You know what you
always
should always
say,
ask? Be like, what's your
yeah.
body count at the end of it? That's what you should ask everyone.
See, my question, the biggest misconception question, I thought that was an original question until I saw an interview where somebody did that, and I'm like, fuck. I got to come up with a new and original question. I don't know why I thought that was like going to be an original question. Like nobody had
What's your
ever
body
thought of it
count?
before. No, no. What's the biggest misconception about you?
Oh,
What's your body count is actually a good question.
yeah, what's your body count?
But
And then you'll see people go,
but there are
I used
certain
to,
people you can't ask that question to. Like
yeah,
like for example, I will again go back to the interview with Phoenix where I asked Phoenix if he had real friends. Like you can't ask
oh,
everybody that question.
oh, 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 that's that. Full glasses off, full glasses off.
But it's like you can't ask everybody that question. Like if I'd asked the
Yeah,
wrong person that question, they would have told me to fuck off. Like,
that'd be a good interview.
but it's like, but it's like,
But you don't want to
and
burn a bridge or make someone uncomfortable, and
well, no, and this
yeah,
was like, I, I, I then like after that, like explain that question of it's like you're out in LA. You know, a lot of people are fake. Like these are all just like simple facts.
yeah. It's like the stereotypical questions of what LA, like when a movie portrays
Yeah,
LA, like it's like sunny, beautiful, amazing. Yeah, we're that, but we're also full of traffic, slow drivers, angry customers who go to Target and act like they're at Gucci. Like
right.
we're very full of that, and it's not everyone. And I am very, I'm like getting in frame. I am
Yeah,
very guilty of being this person of like when I was 18, 19, and before I ever went to WeHo, I had
yeah,
that mentality of like West Hollywood, everyone's the same, and everyone's mean, and all the go-go dancers are just rude. Da, 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 da. And then I actually went there, and I had fun. And now I'm a go-go dancer, and I live, and I've gotten to meet so many people, and I know people, and I'm just like big fans. I still hear people
yeah,
talk shit, like random people just standing there, and I'll say something,
yeah,
or, but stereotypes and rumors happen for a reason because there is some truth to them.
yeah.
And example, I have gone out and seen someone being really rude and shady to my friend, and then I walk up and they start flirting with me, and I literally just ignore them and
Right.
like I'm shady towards them, and I go to my friend and I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" And then they realize like,
Then,
there are people like that.
but it's
So,
also like again going back to that point with Phoenix. Phoenix was the first person I talked to ever in LA. So it's like,
oh,
yes, I
the
had the
LA
mis.
cherry. Woo.
It's like I had the misconception about that in LA, and literally, if you go look at like the first interview I ever did, where it's like. I said, I will never move to LA because LA is like this. I am very much an East Coast person. Da 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 da. now come 5 months later, all of a sudden, I'm now considering possibly moving to LA at some point. Like, that's just
I'm like, don't listen to all the words. Nothing is factual until you've seen it or done it yourself.
yeah. All right. Well, again, with that being said, it's been great interviewing you. I loved getting to meet you, girl.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you
Yeah,
for interviewing me. It's my
you're welcome.
pleasure.
You're welcome. With that being said, this is Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and I hope you've enjoyed.
Bye.
Bye. And